It's now obviously the day after since this tragic news broke here in Nara, and behind me the number of flowers, the size of the flower collection behind me just continues to grow and grow and grow. There's been a steady stream of mourners who are coming to this site to pay their respects to Shinzo Abe, who is really such a giant of modern Japanese politics and the longest serving Prime Minister. He was actually gunned down just about 10 metres from my right here, and there was flowers being laid there last night, but you know, it's a road intersection there, so it's probably a bit of a traffic hazard. So they've moved those flowers to this stand you see behind me. There's probably a press pack in the way at the moment, but there's a huge bunch of flowers there, and there's still plenty of people coming here, young and old, wanting to pay their respects. One of the people that we've spoken with was just 13, and he met the former Prime Minister 2 weeks ago, describing him as a hero, and they talked about having a fist bump, talking about baseball, and they even took a selfie together. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Shinzo Abe said to me, "If you remember me when I visit again, I'll remember you. So please come talk to me." I never imagined something like this would happen. To be honest, I'm still very shocked.
A reflection there from just a 13-year-old. But James, it's the first assassination of a Japanese political leader since the 1930s. How did this gunman get so close to Shinzo Abe?
Well, really, that's the question that's now being asked. As you mentioned earlier, gun violence here is incredibly rare. To get a gun, well, that's usually just a privilege for the military, for the police, and then if you do want a licence as a private resident, you have to go through a very, very strict process and very heavily scrutinised process to get a firearm. So then gun laws here are very strict and very tight, but we've heard from police that they believe this gun was made at home. Police raided the property last night where the suspect lived, and they're now reporting they've found other forms of prototype for firearms as well. So the question now is, first of all, how did this man get the tools to be able to create such a deadly weapon? The other questions that are now being asked is, what were the security detail doing? Shinzo Abe has a reputation for getting up close and personal with people out in the street when he's campaigning. So certainly he was comfortable being close to people, but the question is, what did police miss? Could have they been more vigilant, and could have this ultimately been prevented?
And there are new details about the possible motivation behind this assassination. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, it's still quite murky, though, to be honest. We know that he had some, quote, grudge against a religious institution, and that he falsely thought that Shinzo Abe was connected. So really getting no kind of solid answers to what the motivation may have been. It's all a little bit vague at the moment. But we know that he was a 41-year-old man. He's now in, obviously, custody. He was tackled just shortly after the shooting, and we also know that he formerly worked with the Navy here in Japan, but of course that all seems unrelated, given that he has spoken to police allegedly saying that he held this grudge against some religious institution, and he falsely thought Shinzo Abe was somehow connected to it.
Right, James Oaten there in Nara. Thanks for the latest.